All right, day 19. Was excited about our guys' focus. We talked to our guys about they've just become student athletes now because school started on Wednesday. And one added thing was we started our North Carolina prep today. Now our coaches, of course, been prepping for a while, but we started introducing some North Carolina offense and defensive looks to them. I thought our scout teams did a really nice job today, taking what our opponent's doing and trying to simulate for the rest of the team doing that. And guys embrace their roles, and you have to have that in order to be effective on Saturdays. And so was happy about the work we got done today, and really excited for a week from tomorrow.
How different is game prep week one when you don't have kind of up-to-date film yet? You're guessing a little bit what coordinators have done in the past.
Yeah, you have a pretty good book on what they've done in the past, and they do a lot of similar concepts to what we do here. So a lot of our good versus good practice helps prepare us for what we're going to see. But of course, everybody's got their nuances, and those periods of time where we have to do specifically North Carolina plays, you've got to get your scout team to give a great look. And of course, you got to make some adjustments to your scheme depending on what they do. So we're into that phase now that I think guys get excited. You're used to seeing our offense and the formations they do, and you can kind of start getting used to sets. And now you just want to bang on somebody new and be able to defend new plays.
How does the mood kind of change around here when it is game prep?
Well, I think it really changes dramatically. I thought we had great energy today. When you start just going through the tough days of camp. And here it's not really that tough because it's always 70 degrees or whatever. But when you start getting that grind of banging on guys and coaches yelling at you because you're not playing the technique right or your eyes aren't right, you can kind of get down to yourself. But then that light at the end of the tunnel that's 25 days away is now a week away, and so that really encourages guys.
Without Garen Brown from the rest of the season, can you talk to us about sort of who's filling in there and what you're thinking about? Inside linebacker spot.
Really sick for Garen. He's a young man that came in and embraced everything that Coach Wilcox had wanted us to espouse as smart, tough football players. Was a great leader for us, and so it's a big blow personally. Now we're a football team. It's all about next man up. And Colt Dowdy is going to get an opportunity to start filling in, and Evan Tattersall's done some really good things. So those guys are going to be the first two to get a crack at make the rotation. Been really pleased with the progress of Jordan Kanashik and Evan Weaver. So those guys will probably have to take on a little bit more, and those young guys will have to start speeding things up.
How do you kind of simulate? North Carolina has a left-handed quarterback. How do you simulate that when you don't have a left-handed quarterback?
Yeah, that part, you really can't. You can't ask right-handed guy. I don't know if we have anybody ambidextrous. Maybe our left-footed kickers or something.
For a lefty, so you can get him over there.
He might, but Coach Baldwin's probably gonna keep him over on the other side. The bigger thing I think is having an athletic quarterback. Mm-hmm. Their quarterbacks are very athletic. They've got a dedicated run game. They make you defend the quarterback run, and anytime you have to do that, you obviously create an extra gap. And so there's some stresses to the defense when you have to defend that other teams that choose not to run the quarterback, you don't have to worry about. Mm-hmm. So it's getting our guys to understand their fits, where their eyes need to be in all of our defensive packages.
I think Garen's been out here every practice that we've seen, even since the injury. Can he still make an impact with some of the stuff that he's doing?
Yeah, absolutely. He's really knowledgeable football player. I don't know what his future is. I haven't had that talk with him as far as what he wants to do, but he'd be an excellent football coach. Really understands the game well. He's so invested in this. He wants to help those young guys as much as he can, and so he's out here whenever he can. He's going to have a consult with the doctors next week. Obviously, there's going to be some medical procedures involved, so we don't know the extent of that and how long he may be out. But to the extent that he can, I know he'll be out here.
Coach Teller was telling me yesterday a little bit about you bringing him in at Fresno. What do you remember about that, about maybe some of your early memories of him?
Well, he was a guy that football was important to, and you saw that. You come from a great program like Modern Day. You've been coached. You understand what it takes to win. And you always want those kind of guys in your program. And, when I got here and he was here, there was no surprise that he was a guy that came and earned what he got because of his background, because of the kind of person he is. And you just saw that when the first time you met him.
Talk about what you're seeing from your opposite number, the offensive line, when you guys go against them. How are they looking?
Well, I think they're markedly different than a year ago this time. I hope we are as a defense as well, but I know Coach Greatwood does a great job. The day-to-day work that we get to go one-on-one with them has really been helpful for us as a defense, and you can see guys improving greatly. There's a lot more strength and size and athleticism now after being in the program with all those guys with those experiences they have. So I'm excited to see those guys hit somebody else and not us.
We've been asking this to all the coaches. Wanted to ask what your favorite
color?
Favorite type of pie is.
Seriously?
Yeah, we've been asking it. Ask him. He started it.
Apple, unless it's Thanksgiving, then I gotta get a little slice of pumpkin.
All right. I don't think we can do any more than that.
Apple's the favorite in the room.
Okay.